address, and then share whatever it is that you'd like to say. In the interest of managing time, we are going to limit each person to 3 minutes. So with that, would anyone like to come forward?
Do I have to sign anything tonight?
No, just state your name and address, please.
Robbie Berman, Pond Hill Drive. I'm happy that we finally found counsel. My question for the council, is there a chance that we could rescind this decision and tell NETA that they're not welcome here?
Are you asking me, sir, procedurally?
Yes.
Well, I mean, the body has taken action. There's been I'm sure, reliance on that, and that my position would be that would subject the municipality to litigation at this point in time, based on the detrimental reliance of the entity.
And I could understand that, and we all have to pay for that eventually ourselves as taxpayers.
Correct.
And I want to state one more thing, because there's been a little confusion. I met these nice people that are pro-marijuana yesterday at the Mountain Lakes meeting. I don't have a problem with marijuana for medical purposes like they want, but we all agree that in our town and being so close to the residential area, these nice gentlemen that are here tonight, they did agree that if it was in their backyard, they wouldn't like it either, because it's so close to our beautiful residential area where we raise our family. But besides that, I don't have too much more to say besides what could we possibly do in another direction to try to keep them out of town, even though we already said yes. So I'll leave it up to my other members here. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure, come right up.
I do have a letter for each of you. Should I give it to you now or wait till I'm?
You can give it to us now, it's fine.
Okay.
And I mean, for the record, just state.
Yeah, I'll state my name. Eileen Crivelli, I live at 32 Kincaid Road. I've lived in the township for 37 years. To some people, that seems like a long time, and to others, I'm a newcomer. I did, along with, I see Bill Austin is here tonight, serve on our school board for a number of years back in the 90s. I'm very disappointed at the manner in which this issue has been handled by the Township Committee. In reading some minutes, this issue has sort of been around since about a year ago, if I'm correct in reading those minutes. Make no mistake, this is a big deal. This is a sea change for this community. Some have equated chrysanthemums and Christmas trees with growing marijuana. Again, medical marijuana, most of us in this room have no issues with, but the change, yes, it's farming, but the type of crop is a sea change. There's still a lot of controversy, one side and the other, and for this committee not to have recognized that controversy and to give a letter of intent without knowing. I mean, and it's my fault, I wasn't here. Where was I a year ago? Actually, I was having a hip replaced, but nevertheless, not to involve the community in some meaningful fashion. And that would have been the superintendent of our school, which is, what, about 1.5 miles away from Hamilton Farm, the police department, others interested in the community, perhaps to have put the issue before, develop a committee to look at it, to study it, and to get back to the, 4,000 residents that we have. And I'm very disappointed in that. And now we're down the road, and all of a sudden, here we all are. Here we all are. My question to you tonight is, how will Boonton Township benefit from this sea change that we're facing? Can any of you tell me how we're going to benefit from this? Financially, socially, morally, how are we going to benefit?
As I've spoken at the prior two events like this, the The other choice that we were looking at was high-density housing,
Not the only
which,
choice.
I'm just saying that's what we were.
But had we had a committee or a group of citizens to look at our options, not everyone in this room would have been opposed to some kind of housing. I'm sure of that. Not everyone is opposed to, and you know, a scare tactic, low-income housing. We're not talking about low-income housing. We're talking about housing primarily for citizens of Morris County. Some of us are fortunate, some of us live in expensive homes, not everyone can. Okay, so that would have been an option. Housing. My other concern, and I know it's 3 minutes, there will be unintended consequences to your actions. And if I had to guess, it's going to cost us more to allow this sea change in our community. I've been here long enough, 37 years. I remember when the township committee didn't want a horse farm on Rockaway Valley Road because of the traffic. A horse farm, okay? And today we're talking about a very, look, marijuana is still controversial. No matter how you package it, sell it, do whatever, okay? My children are grown, God bless them. So I don't, you know, my real concern are the unintended consequences that as a taxpayer are going to come down the road. And people can tell me, oh, they promised this and they promised that. You have to be responsible enough to make, if you're gonna do this, or if this is a done deal, then it had better be the best deal for the rest of us.
Okay, thank you.
Very nice, thank
Hi, Stacy Cosworth, 3 Pond Hill Road. Nice to see everyone. I think the largest concern for me as a neighbor, immediate neighbor to this farm, is the smell. I've heard from many people, from some of my friends who have visited similar situated facilities in Pennsylvania recently. They talk to neighbors, they talk to people who lived in the area, and it's a significant issue. We bought our home about 2 years ago, primarily to enjoy the backyard. I have 2 4-year-old twin boys, I'm pregnant with a 3rd child, and we spend a significant amount of outdoor time, as do most of the residents of Boonton Township, because that's why we live here. And I am extremely concerned that we are not going to be able to enjoy the use of our property, and that again is an unintended consequence of the decision, and I want to try and mitigate that. And so my question is, I heard some people have told me that possibly, Mayor, you had plans to go visit a facility. I would certainly encourage that, maybe other members of the council, and would ask that that be not an announced visit, because everyone can turn everything off and change things, but we really need to see what we're dealing with at the level that they plan, because I'm not saying the Netta people have ill will towards anyone, but they certainly can spin things the way they see them and believe them, and that might not be the reality. So before we, so that we know how best to proceed with this matter, I would certainly encourage and request that everyone visit a facility on an unannounced basis, see what's really going on and what we're dealing with. Because again, I did speak with some of the owners who admitted that there is going to be a smell and they'll try and mitigate it, but that's not good enough for me because I live right there and this is my property, and my use and enjoyment is certainly very important to me as a citizen. So, thank you.
I'm Jason Schneidkraut. I live at 3 Pond Hill Road with Stacy. I'm obviously equally concerned as everybody else is here. First of all, I don't think there is any real reason why they can't rescind it. I think that saying that the potential financial consequences are nonsense. I think that this is a potential long-term impact on citizens that will result in financial consequences either way. Either we're gonna face those consequences now by saying to a corporation, you know, this is not what we intended for our town, and we didn't really fully understand the implications of it, nor did we understand all the implications towards our citizens. If you go in legal documents and state, we're concerned about the potential impact on children, we're concerned with the potential impact on our water supply, and for that reason, until we have further data, we're gonna have to rescind this until we have better understanding of what's going on. That is a reasonable thing, and that would stand up in court, in my opinion, because of the fact that it's saying that we're actually taking a step back and we're trying to protect our citizens. And always the township has the obligation to protect the citizens. That's first and foremost. Again, like Stacy said, I'm concerned about the smell. I met very nice people the other night. I've had patients who use medical marijuana, and I think that it is great in certain circumstances, but as our colleagues have talked about who use medical marijuana or are proponents of medical cannabis, the issue is that its proximity to other people's properties is a concern, particularly when it comes to corporate manufacturing of marijuana. Corporate manufacturing of marijuana is large volumes of it. And as we know with corporations who produce large volumes of products, that often results in some level of contamination. And my concern is, however organic this may be, that we're basically allowing this to start going, and then if we identify that there is contaminants, then they mitigate. But that's not really fair. I think a lot of us, I'm sure everybody's seen movies like A Civil Action, they've seen movies like Aaron Brockovich, they've even seen, you know, funny things like The Simpsons, where they brought in the monorail, and the monorail was supposed to save the entire town, instead it destroyed the town. Because the problem is that when you have big corporations come into small little towns, they promise the world, and then what happens is that they end up taking all the resources, and they damage the town, and they make the town worthless. And this is a small town that doesn't have corporations in it right now, other than small, you know, mom and pop businesses, or a King's, or something like that. I mean, that's why we moved here. So, like, I really think that it is not unreasonable. I'm sure from a law standpoint, it is not unreasonable to say from a safety concern that we're here to protect our citizens. And we're going to rescind this at the moment. It doesn't mean that we're not going to revisit it and say, you know what, maybe after we've reviewed all of the literature, this is a reasonable thing to proceed with. But as of this time, to protect our citizens, we can't allow this to continue to go through. And we're sorry about this. And I think that, like, I think that will hold up in court. And you know what? If it has to go to court and you have to, you know, if you have to use counsel, then that's okay. You know what? I think that a lot of people in this town would be supportive of that. We'll pay our taxes for that. But I want to be protected. So, thank you.
Anyone else wish to come forward?
Good evening.
Could you just give your name, please? and
Yes,
address?
sure. Angelo Rotunda, 4 Farmstead Road, Denville. Mayor Rankin and members of the committee. Of course, regarding 130 Old Denville Road and the proposed pot factory. I know that you want the best interest for the residents of Boonton Township and nearby communities. And maybe you're thinking that this process could have been handled maybe a little differently. Maybe decisions were made in haste with maybe not enough information or misinformation, not adequately or timely communicate with your residents, asking maybe for their vote or their conscience. I think we can still resolve the issue and the situation to eradicate this parasite called Neta or Taras, their mother company. I heard before, and I have a personal friend who uses medical marijuana to her help, but we're not against medical marijuana, I'm not, but fighting to keep the cultivation, the processing, and the packaging in the right conditions and location. So Boonton Township, being a conservative town with family values and neighborhoods, as a matter of fact, your own resolution or ordinance 102-157 says it best. It says here, for the protection and maintenance of the aesthetic beauty of the countryside and rural character of the community, which includes farm, architecture, and scenic varieties. Well, let me read something now from Netta's, or Terra Essence, description of their company and manufacturing. Let's see if they match. Okay, this is on their website. So Netta, the company, has spared no expense. Netta's kitchen mind you, where dozens of marijuana-infused products, or MIPs, are created every day, is a high-end culinary, I said culinary center. At any given time, workers whip up chocolate bars, caramels, brownies, flavored lozenges, gummy cubes, refined, unrefined, high-purity concentrates, like shad or wax, other distillates. To me, it sounds more like a bakery, I'm sorry, not a farm. Let me read about Terra Essence. So about Terra Essence, mind you that this is their description of their company. Terra Essence is a biopharmaceutical company that is committed to quality products, brands, and services for the global cannabinoid market. Terra Essence operates a number of synergetic businesses, including Solace RX. RX is not a farm. A proposed drug preparation premise focused on the development of novel formulation and dosage forms. Nowhere on either one's website do you see the word agriculture or farm. This is not a farm. This is more like a pharmacy.
That's time, so is there anything else in conclusion you'd like to say?
So, regarding the cannabis operation in the United States that they actually propose here on their website, should note that there are significant legal restrictions. This is Terra Essence themselves. Should note that there are significant legal restrictions and regulations that govern the cannabis industry in the United States. Cannabis remains a Schedule I drug under U.S. Controlled Substance Act, making it illegal under federal law in the United States to cultivate, distribute, and possess cannabis in the United States. Furthermore, financial transactions, this is the important part, financial transactions involving proceeds generated by or intended to promote cannabis-related business activities in the United States may form the basis for prosecution under applicable U.S. federal money laundering legislation. I think we're still in time. Please reconsider and possibly move to rescind or some kind of draft as to either resolve the issue that your residents are asking you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Great, so
Sorry.
that's fine, we're gonna go and then maybe the woman in the back and then.
Terry Hazina, 2 River Road, Boonton Township. Mr. Lyons, your firm is in Annandale, which is very close to Phillipsburg. Did your firm have any transactions dealing with Phillipsburg and the marijuana issue that they had?
No, we did not.
Okay. I ask another question, Mr. Lyons. If it's found that the township actually went against their own master plan, can they be sued?
I'm not here to give advice to the detriment of the township with regard to any possible.
Oh, I think probably they might be
Well,
able to. I'm not an attorney, but I
I'm
would
not
argue
going to
with
see
you.
that, and I'm not, and again, I'm here in this official capacity, so I'm not here to give broad legal advice that could be used to the detriment of the municipality.
Even though I'm paying your bill, because I'm a taxpayer.
Again, I just explained my
Okay.
position, my relationship
Alright.
to this entire transaction.
All right, so we had an environmental committee or commission, and we had an open space commission. Mayor, you said the only thing you were looking at, and I think Mrs. Shepherd sat on the County Parks Commission at one time, if she still doesn't. Why didn't anybody think about open space? I understand we have roughly $1.1 million sitting in open space. Why didn't you look at it? You weren't doing your responsibility, you weren't doing your due diligence by just passing the ability for these people to come in and to produce marijuana. The second question is, Mr. Jansen, did he draft the letter of approval that went to Denville, or did he approve the draft of the letter that went to Denville?
Mayor, at this point, we can't respond to these particular questions with regard to a challenge.
Oh, no, no, excuse me, sir. I think that is an issue, an open public record, that we're allowed to have an answer to that one.
No, you can.
Did
ask the
Mr.
question,
Jansen-
You can ask the question, and
Okay.
I'm gonna advise him not to answer it, and you can state that for the record, and we can determine that, but.
So you're saying
That's
there's a
right.
problem with Mr. Jansen doing
I
that,
am not
obviously?
telling you that.
You're
No, I
admitting
am not.
that he did it. Thank you very
I'm not
much.
admitting that he did it.
Yes, you did.
Please do
Thank
not
you.
put words in my mouth
Okay.
and state things that I did not state
Okay.
on the record.
All right, thank you very much. So now my next question is, I witnessed some dumping at Hamilton Farms. Is the township going to investigate it? It was a glossy yellow liquid. Another resident from Denville saw it. He went to the Morris County Park Commission maintenance office and asked them to go take a look at it. It was extensive, and it was throughout the back end of the property near the wells. Are you going to investigate it?
Did you report it to,
I did not, but are you going to investigate it?
probably would like a little bit more if you have information on it.
I just gave you all the information I
I
have.
would recommend that you contact the police department or.
And will you ask the former person who owned the farm if they dumped fertilizer or something on that property before they handed it over to Netta? Are you afraid to ask him? He might have broken some laws.
Well, then it's gonna be a law enforcement issue, and it'll have to be dealt with through law enforcement or code
Okay.
enforcement.
And that's time then, I think the.
I have one other question, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
There's lots of trash. There's 3 old trucks. I don't know if there's gasoline still in the tanks and they're seeping through the groundwater into those wells. There's a lot of trash behind Hamilton Farms on their property. It's like a dump. The township never had the previous owner clean it up. Are you now gonna ask Netta to clean it up? Because it is a true eyesore and it has probably got some other hazardous materials floating around in there. Are you going to ask the new owner to clean up their dump now behind Hamilton Farms? Mayor?
So, I'm trying to understand, so if you're aware of this, have you spoken to anyone prior to this, or is this the first time I have heard this comment that you're making?
So yes, this is the first time I'm bringing it up, but the township has oversight over these things, and I wanna know why you didn't have oversight over it, and why you're not gonna do anything about it, cause you're trying to put the blame on me for just bringing it up
No, I'm
now?
not putting the blame on anything, this is new information that you are sharing, and I really can't react right in the moment to it. If there's.
Well, you should go take a tour of the property, it's a big dump, and the old landowner did not serve anybody well with the junk that he threw behind there, thank you.
Hi, my name's Crystal Bennett. I drove here from Brick. Let me just say first, people keep saying that this is like still controversial pot. It's not. I mean, only if you don't believe in science. I mean, do your research. It's only, it's people that keep vilifying it. It's ruining it for everybody else. I mean, this isn't 100 years ago. That's crazy. All right, now I'm gonna read what I wrote. I just wanted to talk about how cannabis saves lives. It saved my life. I was on methadone for 3.5 years. I was tired of practically sleeping through my life. It was the hardest withdrawal I had to go through. Worse than heroin. 10 times worse than heroin. I did it with one tool, cannabis. It was the only thing that helped me get through it. My sister also was addicted to heroin. She went to rehab. After being clean for 30 days, she had a tough day, a day where she was stressed, a day where she was probably weak. She did 1 bag of dope. It was not dope, it was fentanyl. She died that day. They found her at the kitchen table with a rolled up dollar bill next to her. She was only 26. If she had access at the time in her state to cannabis, maybe she would have just smoked a bowl and relieved the stress. Instead, dope was more readily available to her. Now I don't have my little sister anymore. I never get to see her again. People are dying every day from dope or fentanyl. Pot has never in the history of mankind killed anyone. It heals. It helps people. It helps. If you're stressed, smoke a bowl. Don't take a Xanax. If you're in pain, smoke a joint. Don't take painkillers. God gave us this plant. It's a safe alternative. It's a medicine. This is not a deadly drug taking lives like opiates. It's a plant, and people need to stop vilifying it. People have been consuming pot for thousands of years, and it's just the last 100 years that it's been vilified. Stop worrying about plants growing and take a look around, please. It could be your sister, your brother, your mother, your spouse. People are dying from opiates, not cannabis. And I also wanted to say there are ways to stop the smell. I mean, it could be indoors. You have an air filter system in there. There's ways to, to clean the water before it leaves there. And I'm tired of hearing it, the same thing at every town meeting I go to. Every town meeting, it's like not in my backyard, not a dispensary in my backyard, not a farm in my backyard. What if everybody said that? Where would there be left to grow? If everybody said the same thing. And you know what? You know what's in your backyards? The opiate crisis. That's it.
Anyone else like to speak? I think there's a gentleman on the right side.
Bill Austin, Old Denville Road. The pot business is now the newest hot investment in the country. And the money that it's attracting is getting bigger and bigger. The problem, as you know, is that the federal government has it as illegal. And state governments tend so far have legalized it. These guys who came in now didn't come in because they wanted medical marijuana. They came in as soon as the New Jersey legislature looked like it was going to pass recreational marijuana. So the idea that this is medical marijuana, that isn't their goal. Their goal is to have a foothold so that when recreational passes, they're there. And I don't care what they tell you. They're private equity guys. Their sole focus is return on investment, period. And I don't blame them. That's their job. So whatever they tell you, if they can change it later, and they have a lot of money, and they have a lot of lawyers, they'll change it. Because at the end of the day, the money is not in medical marijuana, it's in recreational marijuana. So we have these towns around us, Boonton, Denville, Parsippany, Mountain Lakes, all of whom have either passed the resolution or are going in that direction, leaving us as fat, dumb, and happy in the middle with a lot of space that another guy can come in and apply for the same thing. Now, so if you approve the first one, how are you gonna tell the second one not to come in? And at that point, we could put up a sign that says, you know, welcome to Boonton Township, pot capital of Morris County. So, why do you think this is good for Boonton Township? That's my question.
That was a question.
Question.
I know, I feel like I answered that.
No, you
And
haven't.
Well, let me-
with the choice that was in front of
No,
us.
let me ask you something. This is a sale, a private sale from the Hamilton Farms people to somebody.
Correct.
Okay. It wasn't up to you or me to who they sold to. So when you say we were looking at high density, no. The seller was looking for the biggest price he could get, like any seller, for his property. You had no say on who he was gonna sell to. I had no say. He was gonna make a sale. So, I don't know where this comes from. We were looking at the other alternatives. It wasn't up to you.
You're right, it wasn't up to us. However, the seller did, on a number of different occasions, approach Boonton Township about the interest and willingness to support high-density housing in that development, in that location, and we were not in favor of that.
Okay, so what he was doing for the seller, I mean, he was doing for the guy who was gonna buy from him, was checking out whether this guy was gonna get, you know, opposition from the town for quote-unquote high density. All right. So I assume when the pot guys came around, you guys thought, well, that's better than high density? I mean, to grow pots takes a lot of water. And our water supply is right there, you know that. So, I still, it's sort of like a false choice. We were looking at high density and therefore we took pot? That, I'm sorry, it just makes no sense.
What happened to open space? I know, I'm sorry, it's your turn.
And that's your argument, that you were looking at high density, so you took the pot farm? You didn't take anything. Right. Well, whatever.
My name is Lefty Grimes, I'm from East Hanover, Hanover Road, East Hanover. Went to Mountain Lakes yesterday and couldn't get in the building with a wheelchair. I think the people of Morris County, the Christians of Morris County need to get their priorities straight and start helping the people that are sick and stop being selfish and start being selfless. I could care, if I had a cancer kid in my town, I'd be happy to grow cannabis for that poor child. There's people suffering in this world, both born and unborn, that we need to look out for. And we need to start doing that now. You're worried about the prices of your house, they're worried about the stink. Well, you know what stinks worse than cannabis? A vet sitting in his own waste for a month with the windows down with a gun in his mouth. That's most worse than cannabis. And that's what's happening. 22 vets a day are killing themselves. And you have disabled vets here in Morris County that they used to come out to these meetings and they used to spill their guts out and talk about their PTSD. And they've done this over and over and over. We've been to hundreds of council meetings and police stations. And after a while, they can't come out anymore. It's just too much for them. They have to relive their PTSD over and over and over again. And it's not fair to them. We should be fighting for them. They fought for us. We should be fighting for disabled war vets. You wouldn't have a council. We wouldn't have this town if it wasn't for disabled war vets. And they're done fighting for us. They shouldn't have to fight for us. They shouldn't have to come out to these council meetings. Don Garkowicz fought for our country. He doesn't need to come out here anymore and cry and relive that horrible day of his life. But he does it anyway. My friend Jeff comes out here with a chemo bag strapped to him from his cancer. He comes out here and fights for his life. Some people in this room take money to fight. From RAMP, from SAM, from other organizations. We're here as patients fighting for our lives, and they're gonna run out of rent money before we run out of heart. And that's a fact, because we're fighting for our lives here. I've been all over New Jersey with this wheelchair, fighting for wheelchair access. We went to Union City, and Union City banned medical cannabis. And I went to the mayor, I yelled at him for his wheelchair access. There was a police station with no wheelchair access, libraries with no wheelchair access. And I started yelling at Mayor Stack. I said, what are you doing? He said, Mr. Grimes, stop right there. Both of my parents were in wheelchairs. Both of my parents died from cancer. We're gonna take this ordinance back and fix it, so we just ban recreational and not medical. And that's all I'm here for. I'm here for medical cannabis. I'm not here for recreational cannabis. And I did talk to some people here about their issues. And I have a meeting with NETA in a couple of weeks. And I'm gonna talk to them about these issues. There's other things they can do to remediate the smell, like maybe a smokestack that goes up, like they do in Linden, when they poison us in Linden, and they put the smokestack up in the air so we don't smell it so much. I don't know, but maybe that could help us. Who knows? There has to be something they can do.
Don't help us, Lefty. Don't help us, buddy.
I need your help fighting for the unborn. You should be helping me fighting for the unborn instead of this crap that you're fighting here. This is stupid. You need to fight for children. Help the children that need it. Kids with cancer and the unborn. Help me with that. That should be your fight, ladies and gentlemen. That should be the fight, not this smell of cannabis. That's this horrible. Really? The smell of cannabis? That's selfish. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you.
Bill McKee, 215 Powell Road. I just want to offer just a little bit of research that maybe you want to take it there. It's by Alex Burnson. He's a former reporter of the New York Times and the author of Tell Your Children the Truth About Marijuana, Mental Illness, and Violence. It's a Free Press of 2019. It discusses his research into how cannabis may contribute to illness, increased risk of mental illness and violence. It just might help you, and I just offer it as research there. My other question is, as far as the meetings that you had last year concerning this marijuana, the May 9th, August 8th, August 13th, and the January 9th meeting there, when the letter is written, how come the public was not let known or made aware of those meetings where we could have come out to them?
Man, we're not into the fundamental details of this process and the possible legal challenge. To respond on a line-by-line basis is not appropriate at this time with regard to those specific questions.
Well, I feel it's appropriate because those meetings are all kept in secret there. And I'm a resident, I'm a lifelong resident of this town here. And I just feel when you have a meeting like that there, you might not have known about the first meeting when the Denbacks came in last year on May 9th there. But what I think you should have done there is stop at that point after that meeting and said, okay, I'm not going to give you any opinion one way or the other on it there. But now that you presented your case as to what you want to turn your firm into, at this point here, we need to do public hearings. We need to do research on it. We need to figure out, just how this is going to fit into our town before we hand any letter of support over to you there. And I think that would have been a much better way to go there, rather than the way you did there and make your opinion back then, and you submitted the letter of support there, all without any public opinion on it there. I just think, if you had stopped and slowed down, I think that would have been a much better way of going there. Because, with all the, you're getting calls, you're getting people coming in every day asking about this here. This really isn't the way to do it in town here. I mean, this town has not been, something where everybody has to come in and argue with this town council here. I think this is literally the first time that this has happened here. And I think, I go back to what your lawyer is saying. I think this is still a point where you can resend that letter and get the letter back, take your support back there. And I think if NETA wants to be a part of this community there, they're not going to sue you. They're going to say, okay, fine, you made a mistake, you didn't do your research there, we'll let you do your research. And then if it goes in our favor there, we would like to come out to your public hearings there and hear your people have to say there, and we'll respond back to them there. I think that's a much better way of going at it there. Because these meetings are not going to stop. We're not going to keep stopping coming out there. I think you can see that there. And you know, it's not gonna stop here. We gone to, you know, I've gone to different meetings around Denville and Mountain Lakes, all around there. You know, it's not the way to go here. This town has never been that way there. I've been in town all my life. Bill Plain's been in town all my life. Paul Leary has there. Our families are here. This is not the way this town has been run here.
Thank you.
Hi, was I going or was she going? I'm sorry.
No, you can go on then.
Okay. Hi, my name is Sanjay Chaudhry. I'm from Randolph, New Jersey. I live in Randolph, New Jersey. From Chicago. It's hard to say from New Jersey so far. Sure. My last name is Chaudhary. And I just want to say, you know, I want to start off, a lot of people are talking about, you know, the people that are against cannabis are saying things like weed and pot and marijuana. And, you know, sometimes we think about where a lot of these words came from. Marijuana, a Spanish word for cannabis. I'm a former Rutgers certified master gardener and presenter for the Speakers Bureau. But the word is cannabis sativa, cannabis indica, cannabis ruderalis. That's the you know, binomial nomenclature of those words. But it was labeled marijuana a long time ago to sort of negatively associate it with the Spanish population when they were making it illegal. Now, most knowledgeable people don't use that word anymore, especially some people of color use it because it's meaningful to them, but most Caucasian people I know no longer say marijuana because it's offensive to a lot of people. I'm offended by it. I know a lot of people that are offended by it. So I think when we're talking about medicine, we're talking about a plant, it's good to use science. When we're trying to lose the stigmas of the past that a lot of people are trying to bring up, talking about family values, and the culture we're trying to do here. This is a plant that's been, you know, if we're talking about family values, there's numerous children that can be benefited by this. Children on the autistic spectrum, children with different seizures. You know, there's over 24 different qualifying conditions for this plant and numerous others that are not recognized. You know, we all have an endocannabinoid system. Even the same opponents here that are speaking against it, their body produces cannabinoids in small amounts. All of our major organs, our heart, our liver, our lungs, our brain, have receptors in them for cannabinoids. We don't have opiate receptors, we don't have other receptors, but for cannabinoids we do. Specifically, it triggers different organs' healing processes. That's why this plant can be so broadly beneficial to people. And I think what's going on in this town is interesting because I did speak with several people who spoke here early with Mr. Grimes last night after the Mountain Lake issue meeting there. And they brought up some serious concerns about having it literally in their backyard and potential issues with that. I'm a horticultural consultant at Sweet Virginia Soil, and I think with a lot of the producers, with any sort of big industry, they're in the business of making money, and they can produce it unscrupulously. So as a patient, I advocate for organic cannabis, which is currently illegal in the state. None of the 6 current producers are producing something that could be USDA organic. And I doubt that any of the new 6, medical, including NETA, will also be organic officially. So if you need another set of eyes or a third party to kind of look over their production methods and let you know about possible contamination to the water, since it is near the well a lot of people rely on, I think it might be worthwhile. So I can leave a few of my cards here for you guys. But
No, it's good points.
but no, it's in the nature of just not polluting the community. I'm pro cannabis. I'm not pro big cannabis. I think I'm pro patients. But right now with the big cannabis industry, the patients aren't saying, "Hey, yay, big cannabis." No, we're being gouged. We're paying the most expensive rates in the nation, and most of us are not really excited to get it because everyone's getting it from somewhere that's cheaper and better. So if you guys could produce cannabis in this town that's actually of good quality, maybe patients would be able to use it more and get better benefit from it. It's really interesting. I think this community, being as conservative as it is, it's going to be fantastic to see this, see how it develops here. I think it's going to really be able to loosen up a lot of people. I think, there might be a little bit of change. Maybe a little bit of diversity might show up in the town. Maybe get some, other people here that actually don't mind living by that. Sure, maybe I'll look into buying it. If someone, you have my card, so, someone's looking to sell their house, I don't mind if it smells like cannabis around my house.
Barbara
yeah.
Shepherd is and Mr. Honan.
Yeah, but I think it'll be good. Sometimes when a really conservative community gets something like this that is, so, makes people more open-minded, maybe this is the best place to have it. So I think it's really gonna be beneficial. And if you guys have any questions just about the plant, the different production methods, because most people are using hydroponic production, which uses a lot of water and a lot of wastewater is going down the drains. I've spoken with Chairman Danielson, and Senator Scutari and some other people about some of the potential environmental concerns, because right now the Department of Health is not regulating the cannabis industry. They're sort of taking advice from them, but they're not saying, hey, we're not remediating our water, or hey, the soil that we're using is so contaminated we can't even grow from it a second cycle. So there's a lot of things to keep in mind based on how they're growing, because they will certainly take advantage of you. And if you want someone that's going to look out for you and your community and the people here, I can certainly help you out with that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, though.
Great.
Thanks, Angie.
Hi, I'm Donna Tomlinson, 6 Farmstead Road in Denville. History tells us that we should learn from our mistakes, or at least from the experiences of others who have gone through similar battles. This is a final environmental impact report on cannabis land use ordinance from Santa Barbara, California, 474 pages. This is Deschutes County, Oregon, 174 pages. There's some other studies in here as well. Have you read them? Have you read these? Okay. These places went back to fix wrongs created by a rush to legalization. And you know what they say? That odor is a huge issue, and no one has been able to completely solve that problem. No one. That the burden to be rid of things that are not now present should not be placed on residents. That setbacks and limits are arbitrary and not based on credible data. So this company, Netta, has been welcomed into Boonton Township. They came in at the 11th hour in January, wanted a quick letter so they could get their license, and you approved it in contrast to these big studies in less than 45 minutes and gave it to them in 2 days. But this nuisance company has a history captured in the Franklin, Massachusetts town minutes. Have you read those? In February of 2017, they went to the planning board in Franklin and were seeking a site plan modification to add 34,000 square feet to their existing building. But there was a question of odor control. They stated that the director of compliance with Netta stated that the concerns of odor mitigation were heard. They have found a company that will proactively deal with not only what exists now, but with the expansion. They designed a solution for cannabis and other agricultural products. He stated that that they will install this odor mitigation control system, and it will put them well into compliance with regard to odor. They also had some discussions about parking spaces, and in the end, the planning board went ahead and approved it all. Planning board meeting of 6/18/18, so a year and 4 months later. They are looking for a special permit and site plan approval for non-medical marijuana cultivation. And they have one of the chairman said he took a ride there. He was very disappointed. He didn't realize what was going on there. They have had issues with the odor coming from the facility. They came in for a modification, and the planning board allowed that. They say they have 175 employees. When they came in, they told the planning board on the approval that 166 parking spaces would be enough. They got cars everywhere, 25 to 30 cars parked on the grass. And it says, when they first applied to start there, they said they would have 10 to 20 employees. The planning board's concerns are the odor and the parking, including the safety of going in and out.
We're coming up on time now.
Okay, I might have to have my husband finish, because I'm sure he would like to hear the rest of this.
This is great stuff.
Mr. David said he has received complaints in the last week. It seems like rainy and cloudy days, the odor is worse. Planning board members agree, the odor is still there. Chairman Padula, he wants enforcement on the parking and the smell issue. He says he's not going to vote on special permit the same night it comes in. But again, the 11th hour. He says that he's not happy. They came in at the 11th hour. He's not happy with the conditions of the place at this time. And we go to January 9th, 2019. DEP odor control plan, NETA. Site inspection conducted with facility operators, and DEP outlined a series of steps to deal with the odors from the plant. And then there's this article from a nearby township, Westfield. And they are considering all of these planning board issues with medical marijuana place coming into their community. Board member Bernard Puza said he also visited a cultivation facility in Franklin, Massachusetts. He said,
Sorry, we're gonna have to, if you want to pass it to your husband, that's fine, but just in fairness to everyone else who wants to talk.
Mr. Thompson, just state your name, please, for the record.
It's still Mr. Tomlinson, you can call me Hank. The board member, Mr. Bernard Puza, visited the cultivation facility in Franklin, Massachusetts. He said at 300 feet away, he could smell the marijuana like it was in my back seat. My feeling is you're going to be able to get a whiff a long ways away.
yeah, that part. And they disapproved the special permit because of the odor.
And I guess I'll give you my wife my 3 minutes.
Since NETA has not been forthright in their representation of themselves, let's do something new. I believe that this is enough of a reason to say this company does not belong here. They can't experiment on our residents. They can't try to fix a smell problem later. They can't have noise and parking. They have an unspoken plan to grow. They have 10,000 square feet in Franklin with 175 employees. So you can do the math. Here they have at least twice that space in greenhouses. So what does that mean? 350 employees? They've asked for 60 to 80. They do not have the ability to fix smell issues. No one does. We do not have smell problems now, as Jason said. We should not have them. We should not bring that on the residents. In Juneau, Alaska, by happenstance, they ended up with cultivation sites all located in non-residential zones. But they came to the conclusion that they could in the future require that they be in non-residential zones because it would not be a burden to the industry.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If I can make one comment to the board and to our new attorney. I was shocked to hear that the only benefit that the township is getting from NETA being here is it's not affordable housing. There's no tax revenue, there's no plus that you would expect for this kind of deal. We've taken a trip over to Whitehaven, Pennsylvania, They've got a marijuana processing facility there that was built for purpose. 2018, it came online. It's about 15,000 square feet. It smells throughout the neighborhood. They've got state-of-the-art facilities. It still stinks. Property values have gone down 20% from the time that factory went on. Houses are not selling. Have any of you all driven over to Whitehaven to visit that facility? I would argue that I understand our attorney's concern about rescinding something in front of a corporation, but there are going to be other lawsuits and there's going to be other costs associated with that for the community. So I would argue and encourage that the council look for ways to roll this back until we have a real handle on it. Because a 15-minute presentation at a meeting and a letter of support and a lifetime of having to deal with the issues that we know are going to be out there, it's not a good trade-off. So I would encourage you, let's look for a way to back this up, slow it down, and figure out a way that we can have something that works for Boonton Township, Denville, Boonton, and Morris County. Because the smell doesn't stay at a property line, or at a county line, or at a township line. So please, let's work together and find a way to get this fixed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know I used my time, but would it be possible for me to ask just 2 questions?
Sure.
Okay. Question number 1 is, does anyone up here have any conflict of interest with regards to medical, with regards to this company specifically? Does anyone have any investments in medical cannabis, or is anybody potentially going to receive any benefits from this?
No mutual funds.
No investments? None. Ms. Shepherd, do you have any investments?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the other question is, now that you've heard all of this, everybody said what we've said, you clearly can see, while again, we're not anti medical cannabis, we are concerned about it in the town. How are you going to proceed?
Mayor, at this point, the process would require a submission of an application to the planning board, and that hasn't occurred yet. Many of these comments and concerns are appropriately raised here tonight would have to be dealt with at that board, where there is evidence presented both by the applicant and also contrary to that, or a critical analysis on behalf of the municipality. So
what about with regards to the approval?
We can't prejudge that application here if it is even submitted. And as I said, the concerns raised are appropriately raised here, but can't be answered here. I know that may seem frustrating, but that they would have to be answered at that next level when the application is submitted.
No, but what about the response to the approval? Like, given the fact that you now have more
I think
information.
we've already addressed that, and I think that's,
But they haven't, because there's no yes. You can either say there's absolutely no way that we can rescind it, which then you're saying, which I would like an explanation as to why. And if there is a way to rescind it, then I would like to understand what is that process.
Again, that's the foundation of the potential litigation that leads me to being retained as special counsel. So I'm not going to litigate that here tonight across the table with the anticipation that it would be litigated. So that's the heart of the matter, so to speak. And again, that's a matter that'll have to be dealt with with a full vetting of the matter. It's not going to be, this is not the night to decide
But
that.
that then basically allows them to continue to proceed.
Correct. That's accurate, sir. Yes.
Right.
The action stands as they are at the juncture right now, where their next step is to submit an application to the planning board. And unless and until that happens, there's no action by not the governing body, but the planning board and the members of the planning board.
Can we keep them out?
And they pushed that to you people. We were at the planning board meeting and they said, we can't do anything until the application comes up.
That's right.
Go to the other meeting.
But the planning board doesn't have anything in front of them to consider.
And they said they had not received
Yeah.
an application.
Sure, the lady in the back.
Yes, I'd like to ask the mayor and the other members of the council, do you have any objection to appointing a committee, a panel of residents, of law enforcement, of educators and physicians to look at this issue a little bit further. We've heard lots of testimony about other communities that have gone down this road. In light of the fact that, you know, there hasn't been, to our satisfaction, a lot of due diligence given to this issue. Do you have any objection? Is there any, certainly there's no prohibition to you giving some information when the planning board, when and if the planning board does get this issue before them. And my second question is, how are you are you gonna keep us informed to the second stage of this? If it comes before the planning, you know, we got a nice lit sign outside.
Easter egg hunt.
I'm asking you to appoint a group of people, however many, yourselves included, to take a good hard look at this.
I think that's certainly something that we can consider, absolutely.
Well, I'd like you to consider it.
And as far as the planning board, just like our meeting minutes, are published ahead of time. I'm sorry, the minutes are published afterwards, but the agenda is prepared ahead of time. So the planning board meets roughly every month. Certainly you can check and call town hall at
And a
any
nice
point.
sign, pot meeting tonight, you can probably get a
Right,
little room.
no, truthfully.
So the agenda will be published ahead of time, and you'll be able to see if anything is on the docket. As of right now, they have not submitted anything.
Put in front of us.
Put in the daily record. Put on the sign.
Actually, the notice of the meeting, of the planning board meeting is published in the Citizen. That's our paper of record.
It's not ours.
Are there any other comments?
I just had one question. It sounds like you're moving this to the planning board. But
We're not moving anything. I'm just saying there's no action in front of us.
You have the power, regardless of what your attorney says to you. You have the power
He's being selfish.
to write these people and say, we don't want you anymore, in more tactful words, but then you risk litigation. Have I stated it correctly?
Is litigation underway?
No, again, that's the fundamental issue, and I can't give you the playbook as to exactly how that would play out here tonight.
I'm not asking for that. All I'm asking is, these people have the power.
Please, in respect to the gentleman who's speaking.
Well, he did speak before. I would like to speak. I mean,
I didn't realize
people are
you
just
had
like
your
throwing
hand up.
questions
Just
out.
let him finish, and then we'll happy to go to you.
You have the power to write a letter to these people and say, you have reevaluated it and you don't want it. However you word that. That, according to your lawyer, is gonna result in litigation, or may result in litigation. But you don't have to wait for the planning board. You can do that now.
Good point. Very nice.
Hello, thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. My name's Wayne Perini. I live in Randolph. I am a medical marijuana patient. I have a card. I went through all the rigmarole to get the darn card. I get my medicine. It's $500 an ounce, plus New Jersey state sales tax. I hear these people, and it's just like I'm listening to Harry Anslinger all over again. I mean, people talking about, oh, I'm for medical marijuana. I'm for it. I want medical marijuana. I'm all about, but not in my town.
Correct.
Not my town.
Correct? Well, you're not for medical marijuana then. Okay?
Not my town.
You know, there's only 6 ATCs. We're not talking, everyone seems behind me to talk about recreational marijuana. I give two craps about recreational.
Yeah.
All right? Recreational ain't here yet, and who knows if it's gonna be here. We're talking medical marijuana, okay? There's only 6 places I can go to get my medical marijuana, my medicine. 6 places. The closest for me in Randolph is Montclair. I'd love to have more choices. You know, and everyone wants to talk about, oh, medical marijuana. You can't grow it here.
Please,
I didn't talk when you guys were talking.
selfish. That's selfish.
You know, like, I'm trying to live here. Medical marijuana, it allows me to live. I know they don't look at it like that. Everyone's here like it's dirty dancing. You know, like, oh, you can't have dancing. Oh, my God. This is a medicine. This is something that New Jersey deemed medicine. This is what I'm using to live. But trust me, I would love to go the other option. I like to go big pharma way. Pay my friggin' $20 go pay, see you later, bye-bye. Instead, I gotta pay $1,000 a month for my medicine, plus almost $70 in taxes. It would be nice if I could have more towns have ATCs.
Compassion.
Alternative treatment centers, not dispensaries like they're trying to make it out to be. All right? There's only 6 in New Jersey. They just allowed 6 more. But we got people crying about, oh, I'm all for medical marijuana, but no, you can't grow to my town. There's only 4,000 people here in Boonton. There's 50,000 people in the New Jersey medical marijuana program, and it's only going to grow. I would like it if, I mean, geez, if I was using any other drug, pharmacy drug, I can go to any town. I bet you, how many pharmacies you got here in Little Boonton? 0? Okay, sorry, I'm wrong here, but normally there's like, if I go to Randolph, there's 5 places I can get my prescription drugs. But yet there's only 6 locations in New Jersey, and they tried to make it easier on us patients because there's more patients growing. That means the 6 places that are there, if I go, I can't go to Montclair. I can't go there. They don't have the medicine because there's too many patients. There's no medicine. And yet everyone wants to talk about how they care about medical marijuana. Oh, medical, they don't though. Because if they cared, they wouldn't give 2 craps about you growing it here. I mean, I got 6 other dispensaries. Are you hearing about Egg Harbor, bitching about the smell? And I mean, how bad is it? We're talking about a plan. Talking about a plan here. You want to smell my medicine? I mean, because I heard a lady like, oh my God, you didn't let a horse farm. Oh, you like horse shit, but you don't like the smell of flowers.
So we're up to time now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who said that? Who likes horse poop?
I do.
So much eat it.
It always smells fresh, like I'm lucky to be in a country.
Any other comments?
Fair enough.
Yeah. Matthew Abraham, 85 Boonton Road, Denver. I live in the 4th house from Hamilton Farms, so I consider it my neighbor. With all due respect to the attorney, welcome. Appreciate possible cooperation in dealing with the common challenge. I don't see this as you against us. I think it's a community issue, it's a neighborhood issue, and we need to deal with it cooperatively. You know, the debate regarding medical or not and so forth, leave that aside. This is about our neighborhood. This is about preserving the history of this town and also creating a history that's worthy of our children and a future that we'll be proud of. There is a huge amount of literature here compiled by the Rocky Mountain High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area. This is from statistics, federal statistics and state statistics from Colorado. This was used as the basis for your neighboring town Parsippany passing a resolution. And I'd like to present this to your attorney. The lawsuit that you are expecting is potentially from 2 sources, either from NETA or from citizens in the area. NETA is a foreign corporation. Citizens are your neighbors, the ones that elect you. With all due respect, I would give preference to be on the side of your neighbors, the citizens that elected you, not a foreign corporation that knows that it's in violation of federal law. This federal law also affects the property that they are on. And I've stated this before, but I'll state it again just for the sake of the attorney. Consider the following legal basis for rejecting NETA. One is home rule. Home rule, New Jersey is one of the strongest home rule states in the country. And you as a town have the right to pass ordinances as you wish, regardless of any letter that you have given in the past. You are not bound by any of those letters. You are dealing with a societal, a community issue, and on the basis of home rule, you must pass an ordinance, because once the NETA puts a plan before the planning board, New Jersey state law requires you to give them the approval on the basis of existing law. You cannot pass an ordinance after. So it is before they give a plan that is deemed complete that you want to do this. So time issue there. The second thing is the implied conflict preemption. You can say that you have hired competent counsel now that has advised you that that particular property creates a supremacy clause conflict between federal law and state law, because it is on a federally subsidized road. This creates a physical impossibility for a private party to comply with both federal and state law. When it is physically impossible to do so, federal law wins. And on the basis of federal law, you are rejecting their ability to even submit an application to have a federally controlled substance in that property. The third thing is something that anyone in this business should be concerned about. NETA is concerned about it, they put it on their website. But I do have a...
We're coming up on time.
Yeah, this is the last, just three. Home rule, implied conflict preemption, and this is the third thing. This is another reason why you are within your right to deny that, which is that even state officials, town officials have criminal liability when approving such an activity.
What is that you're holding?
This is the Congressional Research Service report for Congress from 2012, if I'm not mistaken, March 6, 2012. I'll give all this to your attorney.
Okay, thank you.
My goal is to help you guys. We can get through this together if we work together. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could ask one more question, sort of building on what Matt said, Hank Tomlinson. NETA has not filed anything with the planning board. Therefore, their plans have not been deemed complete because they have not been submitted. The letter of support was a non-binding letter of support. They still have to go through all the processes. There's no reason that we could not start today and put an ordinance in place that says we will not allow the cultivation and processing of medical marijuana in the Boonton Township. That ordinance would be in place. Therefore, when they go to submit their plans and they're deemed complete, an ordinance is already in place. It is an outlet that I think would avoid the lawsuit that the lawyer's concerned about, because it's an ordinance that's in place. That 15-minute presentation and the letter of support on an agriculture basis does not limit the township from putting an ordinance in place now. I would like to ask that we put an ordinance in place now. We can do that in 30 to 60 days. They're not going to be on the agenda until at least June.
And kindly stop taking the application.
It's a great way.
At this point, I think we've heard from everyone, unless there's really something very compelling and new to add, I would suggest that we conclude. Sure.
I'd like to ask a question. You've done this to me last time as well, Mayor.
You keep getting up and asking questions.
No, I don't keep getting up. There were other people who did.
I think we're done hearing you though for this evening. Thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry, there was some, apparently.
My concern is that the gentleman that came here today from outside, if I was from Mountain Lakes or where I lived, if these guys came through my community, I'd be really worried. But these guys driving through our community all the time? Come on, man.
Thanks, Terry.
I'm sorry, would you like to say something, sir?
You are ignorant.
It's pretty ignorant.
Very ignorant.
I'm gonna recall you.
Hi. My name is Kevin Robinson, and I live in Lake Hiawatha, 6A Downfrack Drive. I originally came here about 2 weeks ago when there was the other meeting, and my intentions were to discuss the positives and the negatives of what's involved in cannabis in general and the community that affects. But honestly, I know it would fall on deaf ears here. And it's not the council. And I am sorry. I've never been in a room where there's townsfolk caring about the town and not listening to the townspeople. To be told to sit down or be quiet or the time is up and ignore it. I saw fingers being pointed and being names called at you actually the last time. Honestly, if I lived in a place, I'd be concerned too. If I saw strange people in my town that I've never seen before, especially I've lived my whole life, completely understand that. But everything is supposed to be just about respect. Respect thy fellow man, respect, mom and dad and whatever. We're all people. And there's comments all the time. I'm not even pointing it out, but there was a very inappropriate, sarcastic side made when someone was talking about someone's death. That's who represents this town. Considering how close I am to it, honestly, that concerns me. Where I can see people act like a mob versus a community. So I just want to say on behalf of New Jersey residents, I apologize for the sincere lack of respect that's been going on. And I hope everybody can just grow, be open, mature, try to hear everybody out. For example, have you ever had anybody in your family die of cancer? And let's say there was a cure possible for them, but the specialist is California. A lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. But even being open to making medicine for people, it actually is medicine. It's even in the Bible. Go back as far as you want. It is very historical. I apologize. That's really it. Just.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one more thing, if that's okay.
No, wait, did you want to stop him?
Might as
He's
well.
been up before.
You might as well.
No,
Yeah, they've all talked. Go ahead, Sanjay. It's a free-for-all.
And I am a resident.
It's a free-for-all, right, lady?
You were up there twice, huh?
You've been very respectful of everyone.
Patients, I just wanted to say quickly,
Who are obnoxious?
these are patients that have come.
Ma'am,
These are
please do
patients
not-
that have come
Stop
from
being so
around the
selfish.
state. They just
Why are you
called
so
me
selfish?
obnoxious.
You're selfish.
You're
just
You're
called me
selfish.
obnoxious.
You're
You're one of the
selfish.
ugliest human beings
Selfish.
I've heard of in my life.
Selfish.
You are a disgusting human being.
Selfish.
The way you talk to people.
Anti-Christian. Fake
These are
Christian.
patients who have disabilities, and this racist is saying disgusting things here. Don't say disgusting things about people with disabilities. You are nasty. You are a nasty human being.
Sir,
They haven't been recognized.
Sue you for defamation.
ma'am, I'm asking you to be respectful. Do not call people names.
He called his name,
No
you're a
racist.
comedian.
That's what you are. You discriminate. You discriminate
Tell him
against
what
people
you
with
called me.
disabilities.
Obnoxious. You said I was obnoxious.
That is correct.
All right, you said I was obnoxious, thank you.
Fake Christian. Fake Christian.
That doesn't hurt me. I'm not Christian.
If someone brown comes into your town, that's a problem for you.
Excuse me, sir, please sit down.
Disgusting.
I think you're proving my point.
Yeah, someone brown belongs in your town.
shame
That's a
yourself.
problem here. No diversity.
When the meeting first started, I thought, wow, this is great. We actually have a civil crowd tonight, opposed to the last 3 meetings that we had, which I never got to finish because I was shut down by the chants and the slurs and everything else, and that's kind of sucked. But a couple things I did want to bring up. 12 years ago, I was lucky enough to be put on the township committee. And I thought, wow, this is great. I'm actually going to do good for my town. I'm going to lower taxes. I'm going to make a big change in my town. And I did have the honor of 12 years of serving on this board and serving with some great people on this board. And I was on the board May 9th, and I don't know what I had for dinner 2 nights ago. So May 9th minutes, when you tell me what happened and what went on, yes, I was there. Yes, I did want to see Hamilton Farms remain a farm. I didn't care if they were growing cardboard boxes, cannabis, whatever. A couple things I need to touch base on that everybody is bringing up. Somebody brought up people selling their houses. Why are you throwing knives at people on things like that? Let's go right to open space. Do you know in the township committee, we had a plan on open space, on buying things that connect to make the town the way it is, connecting properties for walking trails, things like that. We just don't randomly go out and buy property because, well, we don't like what he's gonna do, let's buy that. Oh, we don't like what he's doing, let's buy that. We had a master plan for open space. Hamilton Farms, yes, it's a dump. I am happy that a highly regulated government industry is going in there. You're worried about cannabis floating down the river? What about the 50,000 chrysanthemums he had growing on the ground? The chrysanthemum, the flower, what do you get from the flower? Pyrethrum. Biggest pesticide? Go look at any can of your bee sprays. It's pesticide. We're okay with 50,000 chrysanthemums floating down the Rockaway River, but we have a problem with cannabis floating down the river, which won't get you high unless you smoke it, bake it, roast it, or decarboxylate it. It's like grass clippings. But until earlier, like I said, I was so happy this meeting was going good. But nope, it got out of hand again. And I apologize to you guys on leaving this on a final note. Yes, vote them out. That's the last chant I remembered the other night. Vote them out, vote them out. First off, move to the township and you can vote them out. Second off, what have they done other than give blood, sweat, and tears for years to this community? And to have them treat it like this, I'm pissed I left the committee. I am pissed because I would be up here fighting. Unfortunately, these people are told by council, oh, you can't talk, you can't answer this. And what do you take it as? Oh, they're guilty, they're hiding something. Yeah, yep, they're hiding something, all right. Just doing what's best for the town they love. And this is the respect and what they get out of it. Anyway, thank you guys, and I'm sorry I left. And Mr. Boonton, I am sorry you're sitting in that chair listening to these people attack you for you've done nothing. Oh yes, and by the way, you are moving? Oh, you're trying to move into the house next to you. Would that be the third house you were living here in Boonton Township? Oh, that's why he's moving, because he hates the town. Oh wait, he's staying in the town. My bad. And my father used to say, to make an omelet, you gotta crack a couple eggs.
Thank you, everyone, for your input tonight. At this point, we're going to close the meeting to the public. Do we have a motion to adjourn? And we have a second?
I think we have one gentleman up front.
Did he want to say something?
Oh, no.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Poor Sanjay. What happened to Sanjay?
Real good. Good job. How are you?
Good job. Really good job. Really, really, really good job.
Fuck these people.
But yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Give me a goddamn fucking sobriety test, bitch.
What the hell was that all about? That was crazy, that meeting. Dude,
Asshole.
that was one of the craziest ones so far. Wow. Wow. So, Kevin, yeah, I see what you mean. The other night when you came here. Yeah, that was, I know it wasn't as bad, but I could see.
No, this was extremely tame.
Yeah, this is tame. I can see what you went through, though. I could tell the.
Fuck all this.
It's right. Yeah, there's animosity there.
I'm tired of that shit, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid.
Oh, yeah, we're for medical marijuana.
Yeah.
Our fucking town, though.
Not that marijuana.
Not that marijuana in my
Not that
town.
marijuana. Make them white
Oh my
girls
God, it
dance with
smells
them
so
brown
bad,
man.
doesn't it? It's terrible smelling, right?
Yeah, they'd rather
Not
pour
that
shit.
marijuana. I'm gonna go drink my alcohol and rape my wife.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sick and tired of this shit.
You gotta be the change you
Sick and
want.
tired of fucking asshole. This is like fucking dirty dancing, bro. Oh, you will not be dancing in this town. Jesus Christ forbids it.
I'm not Christian.
Yeah, I'm not Christian. Yeah, I can tell.
People that came through of color, and that's the people she's saying, hey, we don't want these people.
Would you want two people of color coming through Boonton? We don't want people of color coming through Boonton.
Are you guys gonna eat somewhere?
Not in this town.
Where are we going to eat?
Kevin, be good, man.
Let's go eat. Kevin, you want to go eat? No?
I'll go eat. I know you wanna eat, right?
I ain't eating in this fucking shithole.
Where can we eat that's not in the shithole?
No money to this town.
Hanover Diner.
Is that close?
I don't want to get food
Man,
poisoning.
I'm glad you recorded that, dude. The racist stuff these guys say in this mob mentality. It's like when one person, oh, here she is, disgusting. And I'm not talking about the way you look. I'm talking the character, the moral fiber of your character. Disability.
She is
people
pretty
on
ugly,
disability
though.
patients. Two people of color come into your town and you say, hey, do we want these people in there? You racist? You racist.
All right, I gotta get the police officers and you guys now. I
I got it all on film. So there we go. I got it on film. So whatever you want to do, I got it all on film. So here you go. It's all on film.
Thank you.
You'll be on YouTube. She just narked you guys out for whatever.
Yeah,
So
I'm
this is
gonna
about to
talk,
get actually kind of funny now. This is gonna get good. This is actually gonna get good.
Yo, are we gonna go to a Hanover Diner?
No, I don't think Mr. Honig is Can you ask them not to harass me?
I'm not harassing anybody.
I'm afraid.
He's allowed to report.
Are you afraid of a guy in a wheelchair?
You were walking.
Even the cops are laughing at you, lady. Come on, give me a break. The cops are laughing at you. Silly. You're being silly. She's being silly. Like, come on. Really? Come on. I'm afraid to walk to my car. There's a guy in a wheelchair. He looks suspicious.
This is the first black people and dark people they've
that's
seen in
right.
years.
That's what it is. Sanjay, you can go hide. You're scaring her. Sanjay, do you have to look so brown?
You have to put on white
You're
face
scaring
in
the
this
white
town.
people, Sanjay.
Being brown
Sanjay,
and brick is
you're
brown,
scared.
being brown and brick is
Hi,
scary.
you're scaring the white people.
I know. I
Stop
get
it.
I get it.
Cut it
I
out.
mean, I didn't think this was South Carolina. I mean, this is what, Charleston, New Jersey?
I thought this was a blue state.
Oh my God.
I mean, didn't we help, like, you know, the Underground Railroad people to safety from the South, and here we are still with the racist.
What did you say? By the way, you fucking killed it. All you guys killed it tonight.
Dude,
Well,
I was
except
like,
for you.
I was annoyed getting a little heckled there. I was gonna offer like to actually help these guys, but man, like I'm trying to help the community and they're like heckling me. I'm like,
He was
dude.
about to leave. I went and grabbed him.
Kevin, I know he was leaving.
Kevin was
Yeah, I
leaving.
turned around and I was like, oh,
I'm glad you got him.
This woman goes up there, like patients are coming. You're in a wheelchair. People are sick here. Everyone has a disability, and you know.
You guys have a nice night.
Thanks, you too, sir.
Thank
Be
you.
safe.
Officer. But like, my God, who says that? Like about a group of patients on disability. Do we want people on disability coming into our town?
Yeah. Do we want
My
this?
Lord.
Do we want people with munchies coming
Do
into
we
our
want
town?
this woman in the town? Is that what the town's supposed to be? This horrible, vile, just like.
Like if we're willing to spend
Sack of
$1,000 a month on medicine,
Then they fucking ask him, how about you?
what else do you think we have
Yeah.
money
Mr.
for
Horman,
to spend?
do you have any money in this NETA program? Like, what a bunch of fucking dildos. I can't do this no more, bro. I can't.
What if
I can't sit there with fucking assholes. Oh, we're for medical marijuana. We are. But no, we don't want fucking Medic here. But Medic is a medical marijuana company. Like, is it that hard to understand? Yeah. You know, and then, it's all about 4,000 little lonely people in Boonton. Yeah. What about all the people that could be doing good for?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're selfish.
It doesn't matter, though. I got to live next to that refinery in Linden and get MS and cancer.
Yeah.
Go to the town council meetings.
But that won't do anything. I
Yeah,
already have.
I'm a fucking resident.
Yeah.
I'm a resident, and
I'm a resident.
That coal is killing me, man. Could you make them stop?
And he says there's nothing that they can do about
You
it.
gotta listen to fucking
I said
assholes.
something about
Who
the-
let
the
them buy
plate.
that farm? Who let them buy it? This is fucking America, you fucking
It's a free
retards.
country, dude.
Who let 'em
Part of
fucking buy
part
it?
of living in a free society is
Hey,
toleration
did you
of
read
other
this
people.
report in Michigan?
I forgot
How
to
about
say
this
that.
report in fucking Pennsylvania?
forgot to say
How about the
that.
Constitution, you dumb bitch?
How about
Did you
visiting
read that?
Garden State Dispensary? I've never smelled weed outside of that establishment.
It's funny. That's what I said.
Ever.
There's 6 fucking ATCs
Ever.
and not one fucking bitch about to smell at any of those
Sussex.
fucking
I don't hear shit about
ATCs.
Sussex County.
Nothing.
Never heard a peep about it.
Nothing. Why don't we go visit Greenleaf? Why don't we go visit Greenleaf up here in Sussex County, the next county up, and see what they have to say? Why do we have to go to Pennsylvania? They have nothing to do with us.
Pennsylvania, they're fucking talking about Michigan.
Why don't we go?
Maybe
Wait,
there was
hold on.
more
Why don't we go to
space in
Alaska?
Pennsylvania, you
Let's
know?
go
Maybe
to
there's
Alaska.
lots of farms,
And check
you
out
know?
the dispensaries in Alaska. See if the Alaskan thunderfuck actually smells.
Here comes the rain. Let's go to Randolph Diner. That's close.
Yeah.
Randolph Diner's close.
Yeah.
All right, let's go there. All right.
I can get a euro.
Yeah. All right, I'll see you there. I'll bring your stuff with me.
Let me just grab it right now.
I'll grab it now. Okay. Hashtag they shall grow. Hashtag guys, they shall grow.
Hashtag what the fuck?
Hashtag what the fuck was that?
What year is this, man?
Hashtag what the hell
These
kind of
people-
shit was that?
Dude, Di left here, man. She's triggered. I'm fucking triggered, man. These people coming into our town. Oh, disabled people or colored people?
Yeah,
What are you
these
talking about?
people, these
Is it
brown
disabled
people.
or patients or colored people? Like, one
These
of the three.
hippies. These damn hippies. Look at him with this long hair.
Well, it's either disability, people on disability, patients, or people of color. So either one of those, like I'm offended by all 3 of those.
I'm
groups.
offended. I'm triggered.
Man, I needed to do 2 days in a row. Yesterday was fine, but man, this
Yesterday was a good warm up for this one.
was rough. You were sweet Jesus.
I know, man.
My God. Okay. It's like.
Oh, let me end this here.
Must be a masochist. Are you still recording? Why do we
Yeah,
subject ourselves to this kind of stuff?
Where's the light? Hashtag they shall grow. They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning we will remember them.